But right now, the holiday travel season is about to kick into high gear. You probably have some questions, and our guest has all of the answers. Let's hope. Give it up for the Thrifty Traveler. Our good friend Jared's back with us. Hi, buddy.
Hey.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Holiday travel. This is like if you were a meteorologist, this is like your severe weather season, isn't it?
It is.
Have you slept at all between the kid and this? Have you slept at all?
No.
You look good though.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's talk holiday travel. Give me some tips. Like probably avoid certain days. Take it away.
I mean, Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, going to be one of the busiest days. Sunday after Thanksgiving, also one of the busiest days. So if you can, be flexible, fly out a day early, a day later, that's going to be the key. Also going to be the key for finding cheaper flights.
How about flying on, because I have flown on Christmas before and it wasn't bad.
Right.
Is flying actually on Thanksgiving better than flying Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean it applies. I mean, as long as you shift, the day before or the day after or the Sunday after any big holiday, I mean those are the ones to avoid. Yeah, if you can fly on Thanksgiving, fly on Christmas,
do it. And carry on only?
Carry on only.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of us out there, we want to check a bag, but I mean, no matter where I go in the world, I'm always carrying on. If you try this a few times, you're going to be like, why did I check a bag before? Because it's a pain.
And you'll be shocked at how much you can fit into a decent carry-on. You really can.
It's almost magical.
Oh, it is.
When you think about how much stuff is in there, and then you sit on it, and then you got the zipper, and...
Okay, let me give you a hypothetical or a scenario. You get to the airport. What can you do beforehand to make sure the TSA wait time isn't like 8 hours? Can people check at home before they go?
Yes, you can check at home. But the big thing, even if you go once or twice a year to the airport, get TSA pre-check.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a one big thing because you'll see that long non-pre-check line, and then you'll see the pre-check line, and 93% of people get through the pre-check line in less than 5 minutes. And it's only $78 for 5 years. Not $78 a year, $78 for 5 years. It is the singular easiest way just to make your whole airport experience less stressful.
Can I take it one step farther?
Yes.
Clear.
Yes.
We did Clear. It was the best money, and we do travel a lot because if you think that, if sometimes the TSA line can be a little long, Clear, you get right in.
So for everybody out there, pre-check is great. Clear is like pre-check on steroids. It's more expensive.
It is.
So it violates some of my thrifty principles.
I know. You're a very principled person.
But for high rollers like you, Jason, Clear is great.
Whatever.
I also have Clear.
High rollers like Kendall. Yeah.
I also have Clear. It is great if you travel quite a bit.
And there was a drop in price, too, for pre-check,
for
not
pre-check.
Clear.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. They somehow dropped it, I think, $7 per 5 years.
Hey,
which
it adds up.
You take what you can get.
There's a new Delta flight to mention, MSP2?
Rumored.
Oh, rumored.
To Dublin. Yes, there's some regulatory filings that happens in the background before any airline announces a new route. But yes, we should see Minneapolis to Dublin at some point next year on Delta.
That's
nonstop,
good.
Which is great. Any new flights is always good for prices. Hopefully competition will drive prices down, especially on the Dublin route.
New Google Flights extension. What does this mean?
So Google Flights, obviously what I always recommend on the show when you're searching for any kind of flight. The only one that it doesn't work for is Southwest. So you can't search Southwest flights through Google Flights, but there's this new Chrome extension. If you have a desktop browser and you're a big nerd like me, you get that. It's called Wanderlog, and it's free to download, and it'll pull in Southwest fares when you're searching on Google Flights. So
because it doesn't automatically.
No. You have to go to southwest.com.
Are we a big, I just talked about this with Colin. Does Southwest take us seriously? Are we a big Southwest priority MSP I'm talking about?
I mean, we are not a Southwest hub by any means, but we do have a lot of Southwest flights.
We do.
We should be grateful that Southwest is here because, again, competition, the more airlines that fly out of MSP, the cheaper prices are. So even if you never fly Southwest or Spirit or Allegiant, you should be thankful they're here.
Okay, let's talk. We just talked domestic. We're going to do deals a little bit later, but international flights, still cheap?
International flights are cheaper than domestic flights. If you're out there searching on Google Flights for fares, let's say you want to go to the Caribbean or Mexico or any domestic flight, right now prices are brutal. But if you want to go to Europe or somewhere beyond, flights are pretty cheap.
Still.
What
is that?
It's all supply and demand. People are definitely flying more international, but they're still not as much as they are domestic. Like everybody is traveling domestically.
Our last minute deals. Let's do them now. What do we have?
So flight prices are pretty brutal, especially domestically. But these are some sweet spots. So, we send these out to our premium subscribers, Thrifty Traveler premium subscribers. But we've already sent these out, so I'm letting you know. You can book these through Google Flights. Las Vegas, $197 through September, including Christmas and New Year's Eve. Pretty rare. So Las Vegas is probably like the best one right now. Phoenix, $161, best in January. And these are all on Delta, nonstop round trip. And probably one of the absolute best ones here, Palm Springs, California, nonstop on Delta, $197 through January. A lot of domestic flight pricing right now is in like the 300s, 400s, 500s. So when we're talking about sub 200, it's great. Another one that's pretty incredible, this is also on Delta with one stop, Maui through May, $424. I mean,
that's cheap.
It's cheap.
Trust me. Okay, we're not letting Jared go. Now, a little bit later, we're going to go let him have some coffee. But a little bit later in the show, he's going to be back answering your questions from Facebook. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everybody. That is cheap for Maui.
I don't know. Not entirely sure.
Yeah, seriously.
Yep.
Okay. We're back with Jared from Thrifty Traveler, and it's time for all of you. You get to borrow them. You get to borrow Jared. We're literally giving you Jared. You posted some questions on our Facebook page. Okay, Leo, let's look at the first one. Sherry. Hi, Sherry. She says, hey, Jared, I have 300,000 plus Delta Sky Miles. What's the best way to use them? Just for airfare or entire vacation with flight and hotel?
Sherry, having 300,000 Sky Miles is a high-quality problem.
It is, yeah.
But it's hard to know how to get good value out of it. So it's like, do you want to do a package or do you want to just do a flight booking? It depends. You're really going to have to compare and see, what would it be, to book this hotel outside of just a Sky Miles booking with a flight. So I would say generally in my experience, you'd book them separately. You'd find a cheap Sky Miles booking and then book the hotel separately.
I second that. We just planned our stuff and I found, well, let me rephrase that. Colin found the better deal. I don't do any of that. I don't have the attention span to do it. Because it is work.
It is not easy.
It's not.
Yes, it's not.
And yeah, Delta doesn't make it easy. Anyway, let's move to Sarah. Hi, Sarah. She wants to know about traveling to Florida. Do you know what beach cities will be safe to book for winter following damage done by Hurricane Ian?
So for the most part, Fort Myers is where you're probably going to want to avoid.
Yeah.
As far as beaches are concerned, I will say these places are going to bounce back very quickly. I mean, they need this tourism revenue to survive, and obviously there's a lot of, anyhow, they're going to bounce back quick, but there are so many other beach communities, within Florida. I mean, ones that have nonstop routes from Minneapolis, Tampa, Sarasota, West Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. If you want to fly after April, there's a new route into the Florida Panhandle, Destin, Florida, which is new. Yeah, my co-founder's going there in April. Something a little bit different flavor of Florida.
Okay. Next is Debbie. Hi, Debbie. She asked, hey, Jared, what's the best way to get to the airport and back? Or the best place to park near the airport?
So the best way is to have a friend, spouse, someone, call up Jason, get Jason on the bat phone, have him pick you up. But I mean, I live 15 miles from the airport. I'll be heading to the airport this evening. I'm going to Uber because that's what makes sense. I'm 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's like, do I have access to light rail? It's going to be all these different things.
All variables.
It's all this trade-off of, money versus time. You can park off airport, save a little bit, but you have to take a shuttle. You can park on airport. It's very expensive. So you kind of gotta, I don't know. Yeah, Jason.
Look, and I thought about not saying this because I never want to come across as like, wow, you're bragging. But we had budgeted, we took away some drinks, and we budgeted, seriously.
Will you survive?
We took away some dinners. And in the winter, what's back is the valet at MSP.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, it is pricey. But if you don't want to worry, if you're late for a flight, or if it's winter and you do not want to return to your car frozen, I got to tell you, we did the math. It was only about for our trip. It was about $50 more expensive than just parking in the cold ramp.
Right.
So if it's worth it to you, that was a little tip of mine. But it's a little fancy. But I'm just saying. Next is William. Hi, William. I have a 4-hour layover on an upcoming trip. Is it worth paying extra for lounge access? I've heard they're getting more and more crowded.
So, William, you are absolutely correct. You know, whether it's a Delta Sky Club or the Escape Lounge at MSP, I mean, they're getting busier, especially the Delta Sky Clubs. You know, if you're traveling on a Monday or a Friday when business travelers are especially traveling, there's been some lines that you'll see coming out of those Delta Sky Clubs.
Yeah.
Maybe you've seen, Jason. I've seen it myself. If you go by, I would do just some recon. You know, go by the Delta Sky Club. Is there a big line? I'd be like, I don't know. I'm not interested in that. Maybe there's no line. Maybe you want to peek your head in there.
Can we break it down a little bit more? Because I never want to, if you said escape lounge, can you kind of explain what like an escape lounge is? It's different than the airline connected lounges.
Yeah, so, you know, getting into a lounge is really going to be like, do you have one of these more expensive travel credit cards? That's how you get in. So the Escape Lounge at MSP, you need an Amex Platinum card, which has a $600-something annual fee, which doesn't make sense for most people. You know, if you have one of the Delta Amex cards, you know, the Gold, Platinum cards, or the Reserve card, you can either get access or pay to get access to a Delta Sky Club. Really, the only way that you can get in, for the most part, other than buying a business class international ticket, is through a credit card of some sort.
Yes. Finally, Darren. Hi, Darren. He says, I'm traveling to Spain in December and Delta changed one of my flights, which means I'll miss my connecting flight home. What are my options? From Darren.
Yeah, when you get that email into your inbox that says, you know, a flight's been canceled or delayed or whatever, the first thing you should try to do, fire up whatever app, you know, the Delta app, American app, whatever airline you're flying, and try to rebook yourself. If you can't figure that out, pick up the phone, call the airline, but the thing you need to do is make sure you search on Google Flights for what the alternatives are. Like, what are the other flights flying that day that are still available? Because if you get, you know, a Delta rep and they're like, oh, how can I help you? And you can feed them which flight you would like to be on. It's
easier.
It's so much easier. It's going to save you so much time, and they are going to appreciate you as well.
One last question, we got to go. And by the way, it was a great question from Darren Jeff Orcutt. Is the lounge access? It's a piggyback off that. I see that Delta is getting tighter and tighter. They used to, during the pandemic, they were like, if you have a baby that wears cute clothes, you get access, you get miles. They are they are really cutting that back down, right? They're getting more picky about how you qualify for this stuff. Am I right on that?
They are going to continue all lounge access, U.S. wide, whatever program you're in, they're ratcheting it back, because during the pandemic, so many people want this lounge access now, got credit cards, and now everybody has access. So now it's dicey.
Now they want y'all to not come.
Not to be in there. But they want your money.
They do. Yes. Give it up for Jared, everybody, for more ideas. Travel news and more, head to thriftytraveler.com. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, friends. The 30th through the 17th.